You can love your child but hate being a mom. I literally hate being a mom.
I don't enjoy being a mother. I take a shower, I gotta give him a shower. I buy me a shoe, I gotta buy him a shoe. I get ready in the morning, gotta get him ready in the morning. Gotta drop him off at school before I go to work. Gotta feed him, clothe him, bathe him.
You got 3 kids at 24 years old. You're getting ready to struggle. You're getting ready to cry.
Hey, it's me. This is not peaches and rainbows. This is hard. I would not wish this life on my worst enemy.
Listen to me when I say this. Do not have kids. I be wanting to give up everything.
Right now, women are getting on the internet asking, does anyone else regret having their children? And thousands are agreeing. But they are asking the wrong question entirely. The real question is, why did you have that child in the first place? Because the answer tells you everything you need to know. Every mother I know, even the ones who did it hard, alone, with nothing, never once said they regret their children. Even in the hardest seasons, even when the money was gone and the support wasn't there and the exhaustion was real, the word regret never came out of our mouths when it came to our children and making the decision to have them. So today we're going to talk about what is really going on when a woman says she regrets her kids, why it keeps spreading, and what it reveals about why she had that child in the first place. Because if we don't address this honestly, we will keep watching children pay the price for decisions adults made for the wrong reasons. Some women have children to fill an emotional hole or gap. They never got the love they needed growing up, so they decided a baby will love me unconditionally and never leave. A child is not a therapist. A child is not a partner. A child cannot heal wounds that existed before they were born. Hear me, ladies. When that baby doesn't feel that hole, and it won't, the resentment builds. She starts to feel trapped. She starts to feel like her life stopped. And then she gets online and asks, does anyone else feel the way I do?
Wondering if I'm the only one that feels this way, but I regret having my kids. I don't regret having my kids, but I regret having my kids. I say that because doing all this stuff by yourself / in separate households, co-parenting with the other parent is terrible. And being a single mom used to be like almost like idolized in a way, like, you know, you're a strong woman, you're doing this by yourself, you're da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, no, none of this parenting shit was meant to be done alone. And I cannot stress that enough. Like, the strain that is on me is like so heavy. Like, it's so hard for me to explain. Like, I'm so tired, like mentally exhausted, not physically, but mentally. And my kids are still young. They're only going to get older. They're always going to be my kids. I love them to death. And it came to a point where we had the kids before we realized that we weren't even right for each other. I knew we weren't right for each other, but I still thought that, you know, there's always that chance, right? No. Me personally, I didn't grow up in a one-parent household. I grew up in a two-parent household. My parents were married and are still married to this day. And to think that my kids are not growing up that way, like, literally breaks me inside every time I think about it. And just thinking from their perspective, you know, having to go from mom's house to dad's house, you know, kind of back and forth like that, not seeing their mom and their dad in the same room, enjoying life together, having those family moments and whatnot. And it took me a while to realize that I couldn't fix it. Like, we're just not a match. And because of that, it makes me feel like shit on the daily. And hence the reason why I say I regret having my kids. I regret having my kids within this circumstance. I don't regret my kids, but it's just hard because sometimes it just feels like no one could ever step in and be that other parent. You know what I mean? So it's like, am I left to do all of these things by myself for forever? Like being a parent to my children and just all of the things that come with it. You know what I mean? Like not having that person that, you know, truly understands my kids, because it's just something about when it's your kid, you understand them a little bit differently. Not saying that somebody couldn't come in and do that, but it just seems like a very rare thing. And then for me, just for my sanity, my peace of mind, you know, being able to coordinate with someone in terms of, you know, picking the kids up, making sure dinner is done, the kids had their bath, help with cleaning the house up and things like that. It's like I'm literally doing everything myself, including paying all the bills. Listen. And at the same time, I know I'm not the only one that's in this boat. I know there's a lot of us that are in this boat, but I'm telling you, this boat is ass. So if you don't have kids and you don't have a partner, don't do it. Do not do it.
I've seen what this looks like over and over again in real life. Growing up, I watched children in my neighborhood whose mothers didn't want them. They were put outside all day, not allowed to come back in the house. They weren't fed. They were neglected, and they were beaten and verbally and physically abused. I would be playing outside and bring some of those children home to my family. And the thing that broke my heart was that they did not want to leave, because they could not imagine a home where nobody screamed at them, nobody beat them, nobody deprived them, no one neglected them, where somebody fed them and was concerned about them being fed and having clean clothes, where they were safe. That was not their norm. These same women today can now get online and say, I love my kids to death, and I regret having them, in the same breath. That is a contradiction. You cannot love something and regret its existence at the same time. What you're really saying is that you love the idea of your child, but the reality of motherhood is not what you signed up for. And that tells you everything about why you had that baby. Some women don't have children because they want to be mothers. They have children because they want to keep a man. They think a baby locks him down. It doesn't work. It never works. And deep down, many of these women know that before they ever get pregnant. But the fear of losing him is greater than the responsibility they are about to take on. Then he leaves, and now she is sitting with a child that reminds her of everything she lost. Instead of loving that child for who they are, she resents them for what the father did. We are seeing this play out on the news constantly. Children left in homes infested with rodents. Feces on the floor, no food, mother somewhere else with a man who didn't want the responsibility of either. That is the end result of having a child to hold somebody who was never going to stay. That child is watching everything. They grow up without ever seeing what a stable, loving household looks like. That becomes their blueprint. The little girl grows up thinking love is supposed to feel unstable. The little boy grows up with no motto for what a present committed man looks like. The kids are not the problem. They are the product of a decision made before they ever took their first breath. Family. Some women have children because everybody else was doing it. No thought, no plan, no real intention to mother. And some, let's be honest, had children for a paycheck. A baby means guaranteed income, housing assistance, a reason not to build a life. And those children grow up knowing it. Children always know when they are a means to an end. You can see it in how those children carry themselves, acting out because nobody at home is paying attention, raising themselves while their mother complains her life didn't turn out the way she wanted, as if the child is the reason she has no direction. Children raised as financial tools grow up with damage that takes decades to undo, and it was completely avoidable. And then there is the woman with the checklist. Career, check. Travel, check. Relationship, check. Baby, check. Don't matter whether she married or not. Baby, check. She didn't have a child because she felt called to motherhood. She had one because it was next on the list. The moment that baby arrived and didn't fit her schedule or her plans, the resentment begins. So she goes online and finds other women who feel the same way. They validate each other and call it bravery. There is nothing brave about admitting you never really wanted your child. That is not courage. That is a confession, and that child will eventually feel it and carry it for the rest of their lives. I don't believe any woman who genuinely desired motherhood, who chose it with intention and love, will ever say they regret having their children, they regret being a mother. You might regret who you had them with. You might regret decisions you made, but a woman with a true maternal instinct does not regret her children. That word does not come from a place of love. It comes from a place of a deep and fundamental lack. We have a culture that puts a crown on single motherhood and calls it strength. And yes, there are women who were left with no choice and pushed through with everything they had. That deserves respect. And the difference between a real mother doing it hard and a woman performing regret online is simple. A real mother never stopped choosing her child. But we have glorified this so much that women stop asking the hard questions before they make permanent decisions with the wrong people. Here is what I need you to hear. You have the power. A man cannot father a child you did not allow him to have. So when you say you are stuck, when you say you are exhausted, when you say you regret this, what you are really saying is that you gave your power away, and your child is living with that every single day. A beast knows how to care for its youth and its young. A beast does not abandon or neglect its offspring. So when a woman says she regrets her children and treats them accordingly, she has fallen below the most basic instinct found in nature. We have to stop celebrating single motherhood as a lifestyle and be honest that it is a consequence. Our children deserve better than a culture that makes it look like the goal. The common thread in every story we talked about today is not the child. It is a woman who made a permanent decision without ever asking herself if she was truly ready, willing, and called to do it. Real mothers, even the tired ones, even the struggling ones, even the ones doing it completely alone, do not regret their children or motherhood. That is the standard, and it is time we hold it. If this video hit home for you, please like it, share it, and leave a thoughtful comment below. I want to know what you think and what you feel, and the clips related to this topic are linked in the description of this video. Go take a look. I'm Deborah, and this is Family Still Matters. And because family still matters, the children we bring into this world deserve to be chosen, protected, and loved on purpose, intentionally, not as an afterthought, not as a strategy, not as a check box, but as the sacred responsibility that God intended them to be. Thank you for watching, and I want to leave you with this closing message. Children are a heritage from the Lord. Do you recognize that? Offspring are a reward from Him. To have children is a blessing. It is a reward, not a regret. Remember that. Psalms 127:3, I will say it again. Children are a heritage from the Lord. Offspring, a reward from Him. It is a reward, not a regret. Remember that. May God continue to richly bless you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.